Good morning, dear friends. Good morning, everyone. Freedom Friday is on. I am Anna DEETER, your host and a passionate pioneer of a brand new industry in today's world. The industry is called Etalon Speech Education. The word etalon, I always explain because some of you do not know the meaning of this word. Etalon stands for standard, standard of measurement. Everything that we do in life has some kind of a standard way to do it perfectly, to do it in the correct way, one way. So a lot of people, I hear argument that, yeah, there could be several correct ways. No. I do know the universal truth, which is each of us humans is an operator of our own, the most intelligent machine called body-mind. We did not create this machine, body-mind. This is the machine, we call it a biocomputer, that each of us is in charge of. We are the operators. The way we operate it is quite different from person to person, but we all are in charge for one biocomputer that we must learn how to operate. Some of us are fortunate to have learned how to operate it better. Sometimes are not as fortunate, and sometimes we do not learn to operate it correctly. And there are various reasons for this kind of things we do in our life. And today we're not going to talk about the reasons why we have never, some of us have never learned how to operate their body-mind computer, body-mind machine in the correct way. It just happens sometimes with us. So without pointing to these reasons, unless you guys are gonna ask me any questions about why you got it, okay? I can answer, of course. But my goal today is to address the shocking truth today that I started sharing everywhere, anywhere I could go. I'm screaming on top of my lungs the truth that I have discovered from learning from my mentor. Of course, I am smart but not genius. I keep repeating it. I used to be just like all of you, just a regular conventional worker working for the system. And I didn't know anything that wasn't conventional. I was just like most of you guys. I was going with the flow. I was preaching whatever they taught me in the conventional school. And a little bit about my background, conventional school. I graduated from the University of Education, from the Department of Speech and Language. Speech and language, there is a very simple indication in my diploma. I'm a special education teacher, speech and language therapist, because that's how they called it, okay? So I have a master's degree in speech and language communication, communication disorders. I don't even like to use this medical term, but this is what the official training I have had over 30 years ago. So today, I'm here to share the truth, to explain to anyone who wants to know that what we have learned in our conventional schools, most of it is not reality. Most of it is not the truth. So let me look if we have any questions, because, okay, no questions yet so far. So let me like it, then it's gonna go to Facebook. I haven't done any announcements today again. So I am gonna go with the questions that I have received over the past week. This is how I usually do. And I'm going to limit my time today because I have a student who is waiting for me. I gave him some work to do. He is doing his work. And in an hour, I'm going to come back and take examination. I will check how he is doing, how well he has learned his work. He has done his work. So let's talk. Here is the main message I am sending to you guys. Each and every technique, method, tip, trick, advice, strategy is causing you to stutter. Each and every one. And each and every technique, method, tip, trick, advice, or whatever to improve your speech makes you stutter, and it is the form of stuttering. This is the bottom line. And here is how I'm going to prove my point today. Ask yourself a very simple question. Do normal people, normal speakers, use any techniques when they speak? I urge you to come to any normally speaking person and ask them this simple question. Come to them and ask, what technique do you use when you speak? What method did you use when you were learning to speak? Do you use any methods? What is the treatment that you have been through that cured your inability to speak when you were young? Did you go to any treatment? How did you cure your speech to begin speaking the way you're speaking now? Just begin asking these simple questions, and you will see how irrational every single speech, tip, trick, advice, technique, tip, trick, whatever recommendation to improve your speech is. Normal speakers never use any technique. Normal speakers never go to speech helpers. They don't look for assistance. They don't look for programs. You see what I'm talking about? Yes, people do enroll in some kind of speaking clubs, like, for example, my favorite one, Toastmasters International, a great place to go to when you already have the basics of speaking right. Speaking in a standard way. After you have learned the basics of speech, yes, go. I encourage people to sign up for any types of speaking clubs, speaking groups, but not before you have learned the basics, the standard of how to speak correctly, adequately, natural, not in the way some coach, stuttering coach, has advised you to speak with, some technique, some method. No. You need to learn how each and every normal speaker in the world does it. You need to learn to speak in the natural way, in the way Mother Nature or God supplied you with a tool to speak with. This is what I am here for. I'm here to tell you, fire all your speech helpers, all your stuttering advisors, all your stuttering coaches, especially the ones who stutter themselves. Fire them now. It is not even funny what is going on in the world of stuttering. People believe that they belong to this community, There is even a term, stuttering community. Yay, stuttering community. How do you like that? That this is a community of people, confused, deceived, and confused people. That's how simple things are. People who have never completed their speech education. They have never completed. And believe it or not, your stuttering coach that you trust so much, that you come to learn all these techniques, methods, and so on, he belongs to the same group of confused people. He may have figured out something, but not all. He still believes himself, he or she. If a person still stutters, if a person still calls himself a stutterer and still says, I stutter sometimes, yeah, not a big deal, then it's an indicator that this person is an unexperienced in normal speech speaker. He has never ever experienced what it is to speak normally, naturally, without making mistakes. So we're gonna go today over a few points. Okay, we still have time. Let's go over the first recommendation of a stuttering coach. I'm not going to mention his name because there's so many of them. There are so many stuttering coaches, people who have figured it out for themselves what to do in speech a little bit. And they're already selling their techniques. They fantasize, they created, they built some crutches. And they begin teaching others. You gotta understand, if they don't know what normal speech is, how are they gonna teach it to you? All they're gonna teach to you is their way how to mask stuttering, but not with normal speech. They are going to teach you how to camouflage, how to hide your mistakes with their mistakes by learning various techniques and strategies. You will only learn how to speak with different mistakes. How to speak, not with the mistakes that you made, but how to speak with the mistakes that this stuttering coach will teach you. You will simply switch to the form of stuttering that you have, to the form of stuttering that this stuttering coach has. Yeah, it may sound a little bit better to you. His form of stuttering may be a little better, I agree, yes. Like, for example, as this certain stuttering coach that I'm talking about, he's very, very good marketer. He has a very good marketing team and he advertises his program a lot. And people keep coming to him because when he speaks and makes his mistakes in speech, it sounds pretty good. Yeah, he repeats words, he blends words, he repeats words again, he uses filler words that don't carry any meaning, like you know, let's say, to be honest, and so on. He does recommend to fill your speech and to make it less intelligent with these meaningless words. They don't carry any meaning, but he recommends, yeah, use these words. And when he speaks this way, he has figured it out how to use them. He has figured it out. How much time he spent on that, I don't know. I suspect a few years. Okay? He has come up with his strategies, with his ways to camouflage, once again, to mask his other mistakes that he probably used to make when he was younger. Then he makes different mistakes. He has learned how to speak with different mistakes. That's what it is. And when you guys, people who make totally different from his mistakes, when you listen to him, you go like, oh, yay, he's figured it out. He's speaking fluently. How much meaning do his words have? Do his words carry? You don't care about that, right? You don't care. He sounds fluently. That's the only thing you care about, right? So let's talk about a little bit about a few techniques that various speech, I don't want to say speech, stuttering coaches offer to you. Not just this one. I'm using the list of this, how he calls it, how to quickly achieve smooth, calm, and confident speech. This stuttering coach uses these words. Okay, let's talk about it a little bit. He gives 7 steps, and his first step is this. It's publicly, it's for public. I didn't have to buy anything from him. It's available for public, okay? The first advice he gives, tell yourself, I don't have to rush. That's the first, the way I call it, trash advice. Trash advice. I don't have to rush. Tell this to yourself when you are in a situation, when someone is pushing you, when someone is sitting or standing on your foot in the public transportation. Tell it to yourself, I don't have to rush when I have pain, when I have to scream out of pain and tell, oh, get off my foot. Don't you see? Don't you feel that I'm standing on my foot? You are standing on my foot. Tell yourself that you don't have to rush. Tell yourself that you don't have to rush when someone interrupts you and doesn't allow you to express yourself. When people telling you lies, when people telling you, saying something, blaming you for something that you have never done. Tell yourself, I don't have to rush. How will it work? It's crazy. We always are in a hurry when we need to be in a hurry. When someone stepped on my foot, I have to rush to get this person off my foot before my foot is going to get smashed in the public transportation. It's painful. I gotta scream. I gotta let this person that he is hurting me. When someone is blaming me for something that I have never done, I gotta rush. I gotta stop this person. I gotta say, no, I didn't do it. I gotta rush. Speech is a siren. It's like the honk on our car when we drive a car and there is a pedestrian. We gotta rush. We gotta kind of honk this, push the honk, okay? We gotta let the person know that the car is coming at him. We gotta rush. When we speak, we do whatever we need to do at this moment. If we're angry, we gotta express our anger. We're gonna talk about this later. But the main thing is that, yes, sometimes we need to rush. We must rush. The fact that you don't know how to do it without making mistakes doesn't indicate that you cannot do it. Yes, you can. You just cannot do it with ease yet. And here is a very simple rhyme that I want you to memorize for yourself. It sounds like this. Can't do it with ease is not a disease. Can't do it with ease is not a disease. You just haven't done it yet appropriately enough. You haven't done it enough yet. You haven't figured it out when you were young how to do it without mistakes yet. It is not a disease, not what all these conventional stuttering cure professionals keep telling you. You're sick. It's a disease. It's a mysterious illness, neurological illness. Fire your stuttering cure professionals now. Fire them. They have no clue what normal, natural speech, standard speech is. They have no clue what it is. And even when they themselves have figured it out and speak much better, make less mistakes in speech, it doesn't mean that they can teach you how to speak normally, because they still speak with mistakes. They still are unaware of what natural, normal, standard speech is. How do we produce standard speech? How do we speak anywhere without mistakes? How do we express any emotion without mistakes? How do we do this? If you haven't figured it out yet, when you were young, that's usually when it happens, when we're young, when we are young children and we don't care whether we're making mistakes or not. We just go, we speak, figure it out. But if you haven't done it yet when you were young, chances are you need a guidance of a teacher, not a stuttering coach who can give you only tips, tricks, techniques, and methods so you could continue stuttering. No, you need the guidance of a very few people in the world today, very few. This is the truth. There are very few people in the world today who know the truth. And of course, it is my mentor. He is an independent Russian scientist who has all kinds of conventional education and non-conventional education. This is how he was able to figure it out and explain in words how we operate this biocomputer, body-mind machine to produce 100% correct speech, mistake-free speech, stutter-free speech, anywhere we are, in any situations we are. Okay? So, but let's go over the recommendations of a stuttering coach. So one more time, I don't have to rush. Lie. You have to rush very often. Not all the time, but very often you must rush. And I just gave you examples, okay? Just, you need to figure it out. What is it I need to do when I rush? What is it? We teach that in only 3 days of the Etalon Speech Gymnastics course. What to do so you could rush. Okay. Number 2, Pause at least 1 second before you speak. This is a great recommendation. I cannot say anything against it. However, normal speakers never even think about pausing. It just happens automatically because they have figured it out how it works. I am a normal speaker. I've never been a stutterer, okay? And I never even thought that I was pausing. I never thought about it until I met my mentor and until I have learned from him what is it exactly I am doing when others hear me pause. He told me. I didn't know, okay? So when you pause, you actually do not pause. You do something at this moment. Others hear my pauses when I speak, right? And even when that stuttering coach, who was actually making a point, we'll talk about it later. Okay, now, when he suggested to connect words, the main point was he was teaching, he was offering people who stutter, his clients, not to make pauses, not ever let pauses to their speech. And he was pausing while talking about this simple thing because it is natural. He has figured it out what to do during these pauses, but he doesn't know what it is. He is doing something right because, yeah, he doesn't stumble, right? He uses different crutches, though, okay? He makes different mistakes, but he doesn't know what it is he is doing that makes him speak with pauses naturally, okay? So once again, the second step that this stuttering coach has given in this printout, okay? I have a printout of 7 steps. From my recent student, I've heard that in another training, he has 21 steps. 21 steps to consider when you speak. 21 steps to go through when you speak. This would make anyone crazy, and this would make anyone a stutterer. If I attempt to follow his advices, I will begin stuttering, I guarantee, because this is so not natural. By following the techniques of a stuttering coach, you only confuse yourself. You only make yourself a stutterer. You only stutter, okay? And you waste your time. Fire all your stuttering coaches now. They have no idea what natural speech standards are. They have no idea, they have never experienced what natural speech is. Natural, mistake-free speech is. And they teach you how to speak with crutches, methods, techniques, tips, tricks, and they are stuttering. They're just different forms of stuttering. But let's move on. So pause at least 1 second before you speak. It's a good suggestion if you know exactly what to do during this pause. Okay, let's go. Use naturally sounding introductory words and sound. This suggestion makes me totally crazy. For those of you who are not familiar with the rules of the speaking club, where people just come to practice their speech, to practice their strength, to speak in front of audience and people who just love speaking, okay? The first thing they are getting introduced is the so-called counter. Every time a person speaks, like for example, there is a so-called contest of table topics, the contest for the best table topics. Anyone could be asked a question right away, okay, without any warning. So a person would ask, a leader of their group would ask a question, and after the question is stated, he would point, you answer this question. So a person is not prepared, he was like, no preparation or whatsoever. He gets up and he has to provide an answer which should be not less than, I believe, 1 minute and not more than 2 minutes. Okay, so those are the rules. The moment a new person begins speaking, someone else in the group has a different role. This person has to notice every time he hears the introductory words, like or or repetition of words, they call it glitches or something, okay? So the moment this person hears the mistake, the speaking mistake, he rings the bell. Boom, boom. I have a whole speech on that, okay, about the Mr. Counter. Let it rest in peace. Okay, you can go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and find this video. So you gotta understand, every word that doesn't carry any meaning, okay, just made a mistake myself, because I didn't do what I'm supposed to do as a normal speaker. And I did make mistake right away, okay? So this is not something that I teach to my students, right? So the bottom line is that normal speech, I did it on purpose, is not supposed to have any mistakes. Just like your written speech. When you write and you submit your paper to a teacher, the teacher would mark every mistake, right? You're not allowed to make any mistakes in your written speech. The same thing is with us. We're speech teachers. When my students come to us, we have a very high standards. Very high standard. No mistakes. And we teach our students how to speak with no mistakes or whatsoever. 100% mistake-free. Okay? And using any words that don't carry any meaning is a big mistake. So let's go back. This is what the stuttering coach is teaching you. He is teaching you to speak with more mistakes. He's teaching you to use introductory words and sounds. The words, phrases that decrease intelligence of your speech. He wants you to speak like a crazy guy, like a clown. Say a lot of words that don't carry meaning. How would you like people who talk, but never get to the point? Do you like listening to people like this? They talk around, and around, but never get to the point. That's what it is. That's stuttering. And most people who stutter have accumulated this habit of talking about nothing, talking about nonsense, talking about emptiness, no meaning, just talking. This is stuttering. And your stuttering coach is contributing to this. He's feeding your bad habit of speaking about nothing. Just speaking. Just be in the flow, right? Be in the flow. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. Just be in the flow. This is how drunk people speak. This is how crazy people speak. They don't make any sense, but they don't stutter. Okay, we have a little time because my student is still waiting for me in 15 minutes. So I'll go over the next step, and we're gonna come to the same strategies next week. I will make an announcement because I want to have people listening to me. Okay, the next step, step number 4, right? Okay, step number 4, extend your first few words. This is such a harmful recommendation. I cannot even tell you how horrible it is. Extend your very few words. Number 1, again, go to a naturally, normally speaking person. Ask this person, do you extend words when you speak? How do you extend your words? Do you extend words? You will see how a person would look at you and say, huh? What? Extend words? No! Then you can ask your next question. But then how do you speak? And guess what this person is going to answer? I don't know how I speak. I just speak. I simply speak. And he is right. This is how we all speak. We simply speak without extending our words, without telling to ourselves, you don't have to rush, without, what was that? Oh, using introductory words, naturally sounding. We simply speak. We don't care how it happens for a very simple reason. We did not create this musical instrument. I like to call our body-mind machine as an instrument. Our speech apparatus is our simple musical instrument, like a tube, like a saxophone, like a trumpet. It's a better musical instrument. A trumpet, that's what we have, our speech apparatus. How does the trumpet works? When the trumpet player plays it, he really doesn't care how it works. What's inside of the trumpet? He really doesn't care. At the moment he's playing the trumpet, all he cares is about using it in the best way to create the best sounds. That's it. To express himself, to play the tune in the best way he wants at this moment. That's what we have. God or Mother Nature, whatever you believe in, has given you a perfect tool, a perfect speech tube. That's how my mantra calls our speech apparatus. That's what we have. It's a speech tube right here. Okay, speech tube. All you need to do just to use it appropriately, according to the instructions. You know how every device we use, for example, here is a cell phone. When we first got our cell phone, it took some time to figure it out, how to play with it, how to use it, right? We played with it. Sometimes when they upgrade the application, again, we have to figure it out. We have to play with our phone and do, oh God, they changed everything. Now I have to figure it out how it works. And guess what happens next? After you have figured it out, you just use it according to the instructions. If you didn't read instructions for the cell phone, yeah, you can figure it out. Of course, it's a pretty simple device. But when you have figured it out, you don't need any crutches, any methods, any techniques. You just do it. Okay, I apologize. I see a question here. Okay. Make it free. Make it free. Could you please tell me what I'm supposed to make free? Indicate, please. What exactly I, a person who is not supported by any government funds, a person who works for living, a person who doesn't receive any government donations, any money from anywhere. God doesn't give me money, okay? I work for living. Can you tell me what am I supposed to give you, someone who I don't even know who you are, for free? I have no idea who you are, okay? So what is it that you want free? Let me see if you wrote anything. Let me move the screen. Oh, of course, quiet. No answer. That's what I expected. Okay. So no questions. I continue answering the questions. I mean, continue with my topic. So we were talking about stuttering coaches who give you all kinds of recommendations how to continue stutter, how to substitute your form of stuttering with their form of stuttering. Okay, I see 2 people are watching. If you are watching me live, ask your questions, because I don't know what is in your head until you ask a question. I am extremely passionate about what I do. I work non-stop, non-stop. Only those who donate the funds in my non-profit organization allow me to do what I do. I write books. I do Freedom Fridays for anyone to answer any question. I'm here. I'm donating my time. Free. Hosen Belayet Hosen. I apologize. I don't know how to say correctly your name. Okay? So I am doing for free for you. But you're not asking questions. So I don't know what you want for free. So here we go. I have 5 more minutes. No questions. I'm going to wrap it up. I will probably cover the second part of the recommendation of a stuttering coach. Very nice guy. I love the guy. Okay? When I hear him talk, I want to hug him. Like he's like a teddy bear. Very nice, very fuzzy, very passionate about what he is doing. But he has no clue what natural speech is. He has never experienced it. He has some fantasies in his head, and he's selling these fantasies to you. He has thousands of viewers under his videos. He's doing all right. He's making good profit. But you guys still want free. Even he sells his trash information. Bootcamp for $90, a couple $100 for self-study. Good for him. Good marketing strategy. I'm not there yet. Because what I have is so simple that if I explain it all here, you don't need me at all. Okay, Amir here. Hi, Amir. I watch many of your videos and read lots of blog about your ideas apart from your books, which I will read hopefully. As far as I understand, you teach how to say letters with the proper position lips. See, this is again your fantasy, Amir. I don't know where you got this from. We don't speak in letters. Normal speakers never speak in letters. Letters are for writing. Letters are a totally different way of communication. You guys come up with ideas, and good job that you answered asked your question. Now I know what's on your head, in your head. No, we do not speak in letters. we speak in whole words. Whole words! At least this is how normal people speak. It is when you want to be a stutterer, of course you don't want, but they taught you to be a stutterer. They begin teaching you to break a whole word in parts. They begin teaching you that there are separate sounds in words. Yes, they are, of course. But do normal people care about separate sounds? Ask any human being, ask a young child, what are the sounds in this word? Do they know? And they don't care about it. Yeah, sometimes when a child is very young and he is not speaking right, not saying correctly some sounds, yes, there is a need to teach a young child some certain sounds, positions, yes. Sound positions, not letters, okay? But you guys are adults. I am assuming you are adults. Your writing is pretty mature. You don't care about separate parts of words. I teach to speak in the way every normal speaker speaks, in whole words only. Letters are confusing you. Letters are for writing. Okay, Amir? Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to leave now. If you have your questions, bring them back to me. I'm available anywhere. But if you hear my answers live, once again, another person, Jose, Himmel probably. I do it for free, but you don't ask questions. That's the problem. Okay, so actually I'm pretty convinced about Etalon. The only problem is that I must work 1 year to save that money. IDK, what I can do. I don't know what it means, IDK. See, this is how stutterers talk. Even in writing, IDK. What does it mean, IDK? I don't know. Okay, I kind of speculated, maybe you didn't mean that. If you want to know how to save up money, read this book. Again, free. This book is free, my dear Himmel. See, I started on your word, on your name, Himmel, because I'm not sure how to say it. Himmel. Yeah. See, I figured out. I don't know. I don't know means there is no information. There is nothing wrong about not knowing. I'm glad you asked the question. Read the book. This young man also didn't know. He had to work for 2 years. He worked really hard because he didn't have to work only to save up money. This took him about 6 months. He worked for 10 hours, no days off, with kind of no breaks, 10 hours straight. He worked really hard. To save up money, it took him 6 months, okay? But it took him more time to collect his English. He didn't speak English. Money wasn't a problem for him. But we're all different. Okay, let me see what else is here. Those books are the same as your sessions on Skype? Of course not. Of course not. There is nothing like a teacher. You gotta understand, Skype is, when I teach Skype, it is a different lesson plan every time. It is impossible. Here is the book. Here is the book that I wrote already and published. It has a lot of information. If you read it, it's gonna make you smart. But this book doesn't have everything because it's impossible. It has information in general. In general, I write books for speech professionals and for people who stutter, so they could become smart about themselves. Even this book is just a theory. I have no idea what is your problem. What is it that you need to work? If you are an adult, chances are you don't need to work on the sound matrix that I have in my book. You don't. It's going to make you confused, okay? The sound matrix is it's a structure of our speech. Yes, the information is correct. Here is my sound matrix. It's in the book. I sell the book only because we need money for going with our projects, okay? That's the only reason. It's gonna become free very soon, the moment I complete the translation of my next book, Stutter's Bible. It's going to become free, okay? But until I have translated my own book, which is available for free, Himmel in Russian language, free, okay? It's free, and everything is laid out there, everything. But still, you gotta be smart to figure it out. You gotta be smart, and you guys are smart. Most of you are very smart, but you have so much trash information in your head that it's not easy to get through this trash. It's trash. My mentor calls people who started trash headers, people who hold trash in their head. And it's not to offend anybody. It's not to be mean. It's just the reality. See, for example, Amir believed that we speak according to the letters. No, we don't. And I gave so many examples already. I'm not going to do it now because my student is waiting for me. Okay, it's the time he is learning. I gave him work and he is practicing right now. Okay? So once again, money is easy. Money is just work. You are a young man, you are strong, just like this kid. You know, you all are kids for me. He got out of army where he beat him up, they abused him because of stuttering, and he's got enough. So he's got a physical labor job. He didn't have to speak there. He just worked like an animal, like a strong man. I respect men like this. Strong man, okay? Not a little girl who tells, oh, I'm so weak, I'm sick, I cannot work. You're not little girls, you're a man. Man up, okay? And get to work. If you have to work for a year, then you get to work for a year. But you can just get another work, get another job, okay? So, okay, last question. When will the translations of that Stutter's Bible be published in English? When I translate it, I don't know. I have so much work, and I am the only person in English-speaking world. Right now, I am not doing it. I have translated the first part, but it hasn't released yet even, because I have to translate the whole thing. You know how many pages it is in Russian? 300 pages, almost 400 pages. In Russian, with illustrations, with everything explained. It takes time. Everything takes work. If you have to work to save up money, I would have to work for maybe a whole year to translate. And I can do it only when I'm not busy teaching my students. So I don't know when. If you come to me, give me the money, I will be able to hire somebody to translate. Do you see, Himmel, how it works? I don't have enough funds to hire people to do the work. I would love to do it. I would love to save my eyes and not to do the translation myself. But I don't have the funds yet. Okay? I do what I can do. And I encourage you guys to do what you can and want to do, not for someone else, for yourself. Don't you think it's worth it to invest in yourself? You are the most worthy person on this planet. And if you don't want to work for yourself, then what can I say? Sit there and wait for free. Sit. Go do the begging stuff. It doesn't look pretty though. Go outside and look at the homeless person sitting and begging on the street. Do you like this person? How do you like the picture? But this is exactly what they convinced you you're supposed to do. To go everywhere and beg for freebies. Give it to me for free. Give it to me for free. In fact, you have to fire all your speech advisors. This is what I tell to each and every stutter, my student, my graduate, Ethelon graduate. I tell them, fire me right away after the class. Fire me. You don't need me. That's what happens. After you have learned that you can speak without any helpers. Now, not tomorrow, now. Without any techniques, without any methods. Just do it. You don't need anyone to advise you. You may need a teacher initially. This is what I do in the classroom. Just like when you went to school. You used a teacher, right? To learn how to write correctly letters. Initially, yes. But it doesn't take long. Today, it takes about 2-3 hours for my students to get it, and then they just speak, do the speech work for 3 days. Okay, anyway, nice seeing at least 4 people today watching me. Good job, guys. Come back next Friday, but prepare your questions. 9 o'clock my time, which is New York time, Eastern time. Lots of love to you. Fire your speech advisor. Oh, no, not speech. They call them speech advisors. Stuttering advisors right away, because it is stuttering. Every method, every technique, every stuttering fantasy is stuttering. Have a great one. Have a good week. Enjoy your life. Bye-bye. Okay, let me see where it turns off.